During your registration, we actually ask yung mga parents what is their biggest fear when it comes to their child's online exposure. And on top of the list, lumabas that most of us are actually worried on cyberbullying, followed by exposure to inappropriate content, followed by online predators and strangers. Then we have child becoming addicted to social media. And then 61.8% of the respondent also mentioned that they are actually fear about identity theft or fraud. Actually, lahat ito are valid reasons, di ba? So most of us, not only the children, but actually even the parents are actually exposed with the different cybersecurity threats, especially nung nagsimula yung pandemic na yung exposure natin online mas na-extend pa di ba? So for today's discussion, we'll focus on how to become for the parents, ano yung methodology natin when it comes to digital safety strategies. So later, I'll share around 12 digital safety strategy divided into five major components or five major domain. So the first domain is actually we need to be internet smart. Okay. So we need to understand and we need to identify what should be here or what can we actually share online. So that's why ang focus natin with our discussion when it comes to be internet smart is share with care. Okay. The second domain of our digital safety strategy is how to be internet alert. Okay. So, marami. Almost every day, di ba? Pagkabukas pa lang natin ng Facebook, pagkabukas pa lang natin ng social media, there are a lot of fake news. So, so that's why we need to be internet alert. We should learn how to identify what are fake news, what are real, what are fake. So we're going to discuss be internet alert in a while. Then the third domain that we're going to discuss tonight is actually how to be internet strong. So these are some of the technical controls when it comes to cybersecurity. Ito yung mga pwede nating gawin to ensure that our family, you and your children will be safe on the internet. The fourth domain that we're going to discuss tonight is be internet kind. So dito pinopromote natin na bakit kaya yung ibang tao nag-iiba yung character nila the moment that they go online. Di ba? They are nice people, there are very genuine people, we create a lot of friends, di ba, in person. Pero the moment that they the moment that they are online, parang nag-iibang tao Di ba? Parang mas nagiging matapang, mas masyadong nagiging mas vocal. Pero dapat there should be no change in attitude, whether it's in person, whether it's in online. We need to make sure na yung mga anak natin is educated enough na kung ano yung character nila in person, paano nila i-treat ang mga tao, ang mga kaibigan nila in person, it should not make any difference when they are actually online. So that's why we're going to discuss the internet kind as the fourth part of our discussion. And then the last part is we need to be internet brave. Tama? When in doubt, talk it out. Okay? So there are lots of laws that will actually protect us. Nandyan lang sila But sometimes we are actually not aware how to get help on the internet. So we're going to discuss how we can actually get help when let's say we see some cyber crime or we are actually someone is taking advantage on us on online. Tama? Okay. So let's start with the first domain. So how to be smart. Okay. So when you talk about when we say smart, di ba? Dapat aware tayo what should we share, what can we share online. Okay? So we need to thoughtfully consider what you share with whom, tama? You need to understand the consequences that come along with sharing. So, tandaan natin, anything that you share on the internet, whether it's a picture, whether it's a message, it will stay on the internet forever. Tama? So, we need to be careful what we comment. We need to be careful what we share online. Kasi bear in mind, what you put on the internet will be permanent or it can be stored forever. Okay? So, we need to keep extra sensitive when it comes to the information that you actually share online. Okay? So, sharing with care. So, good news travels fast online, whether actually good or bad. It travels online, so that ang bilis niyang kumalat online. And without some forethought, kids can find themselves in tricky situations that have lasting consequences. To solve this, learning how to share with those they know and those that they don't. Okay? So we need to communicate. We need to learn how to we need to educate our kids na dapat merong mga limitations what we want to share online. Actually, the lesser that they are actually exposed on social media, the lesser that they are actually exposed on online, the more that they are actually safe. Tama? So, encourage them to share by treating online communication like face-to-face communication. So, meaning, katulad nga nung nabanggit ko kanina, kung ano lang yung mga bagay that you are willing to share when you are actually talking to person, dapat ganun lang din yung willing kang i-share online, di ba? Create guidelines about what kind of communication that are actually appropriate that you can actually share online, and most especially, okay, never share personal informations online. So if you really want to share something, you can actually share it with just your close friends lang. So meron namang mga ways on how we can actually limit kung sino lang makaka-view ng mga gusto nating i-share. Tama? So tip number one, be positive presence online just like in real life. So remember, once something by or about you is online, like a photo, comment, or message, it could stay online forever. Tama? Maybe you are wondering, bakit kaya yung mga ibang bata ngayon, hindi nila ayaw nila masyadong nagpo-post ng mga pictures online, especially the Gen Z, no? Especially the parents na merong mga bata ngayon, may mga Gen Z na student na mga kids. Bakit kaya hindi sila masyadong nag-share ng mga pictures nila online? Because they are afraid that those picture that their parents are sharing online pwedeng magamit sa kanila balang araw for bullying purposes. So let's say they have the baby picture, they have a picture na ganito itsura nila, 'di ba? The parents are just proud, that's why they are sharing it online. Pero the Gen Zs, they don't want it. To the point na nagagalit sila sa mga parents nila because they don't want to share it. Because they are actually aware, okay, na yung mga picture that their parents are actually sharing online may be used against them in the future for cyberbullying. So ang tawag natin diyan sa event na to is share renting. While the parents are very proud sharing a lot of information about their kids, posting a lot of their activities, posting all the pictures, posting all their travels, posting everything because they are just proud of the kids. The more they post, mas nagagalit yung mga bata. Because ang pinaka number one worry ng mga bata ngayon is actually cyberbullying. And they don't want those pictures that the parents are sharing online will be used against them in the future para ma-cyber bully sila. And I think as parents, who doesn't want na mabully yung mga bata, di ba? So that's why try to understand the kids why they don't want to share their pictures online. Okay? So marami kong kilalang mga parents na nagkakaroon ng issue when it comes to share renting. And that is actually the major reasons that some parents do not understand. Di ba? Okay, next. Think before you post. It is important to know when to post something or, if possible, nothing at all. Not to react somebody's post, photo, or comment, or not to share something that is actually isn't true. So, kung titingnan mo dito, before we actually post something daw, di ba, we need to think it over. Dapat bang i-post to? Dapat ba akong mag-react dito sa picture ng kaibigan ko? Kailangan ko bang mag-comment, 'di ba? So before we want to share something, whether it's in a form of photo, whether it's in a form of comment, you need to think about it first before you post anything online. Tip number three is actually you need to learn how to protect your secrets. Do not share your address, email, phone numbers, password, usernames, documents with the strangers. Okay? So I have here a video of an incident na because this particular person is posting everything on social media, nagkaroon na ng identity theft without her knowing. So let me share this video.
Hey Serena,
Yeah,
what you got in your bag?
it's my new heels for graduation. Hey, where are these chairs coming from?
Okay. So the word here is
Hey
someone can
Serena,
be you. The more you share information online, kita mo, di ba? That is actually not her intention. She doesn't have any intention to share all those personal information. But on the background, if you are actually the main target or if you are actually one of the target of the hackers and attackers, they will try to check everything that you have posted online so that they will get more relevant informations about you. Just like in that particular scenario, nakita natin, di ba? So, nakita yung address niya because she just take a picture just in front of their house. Nakita yung credit card niya, di ba? Because it's just on top of the table. Nakita lahat ng mga personal information niya because she posted yung graduation niya. Tapos nandun na yung credential nung certificate niya. And the more pa yung mga Pilipino, we actually have this tendency to greet everyone online. Tama? So by greeting yung mga anak mo, kaibigan mo, your loved ones, yes, you just want to express your greetings dun sa mga tao na yon, but you don't know that you are actually sharing a very personal information and that is their birthday. At ano tinatanong pag nagbabalidate ng credit card information? Ano tinatanong pag nagbabalidate ng bank information? It's our birthday, di ba? So that's why yung mga information, even the birthdays, should not be posted online. Kasi yun ang isa sa mga questions that the banks are actually asking to proceed with the transactions. And if you are just sharing those informations online, including the informations ng mga kaibigan, ng mga loved ones mo, there is a threat to us. Okay? So, tip number four, don't assume that people online will see you the way you think they will see you. Different people can see the same information and draw different conclusions from it. So just like in the previous video that I actually shared. And tip number five, it's always important to respect other people's privacy choices, even if they aren't the choices you'd make yourself. So different situations call for different responses online and offline. So what are actually the things that we need to remember? So umpisahan natin doon sa binigay kong example a while ago about sharing, di ba? So sabi nga natin, we as much as possible, di ba, the kids doesn't want to share their personal informations online. So this is a continuous challenges sa mga pamilya ngayon because the parents are actually proud. That's why they are actually sharing those pictures online. Pero the kids naman, on the other hand, is actually afraid that it may be used for cyberbullying yung mga pictures that parents has posted online. So that's why sharing becoming a is nagiging malaking issue ngayon when it comes to online. Okay? So, isa consider na to as one of the cybersecurity threat that the kids might be exposed because of their parents. Okay? Their parents that have no limitations when posting online. Lahat they want it to post online just because they are proud of their kids. Okay? Now, okay. So, Experts Academy, as mentioned, we are sharing with you some digital safety strategy tips that you can actually use when it comes to sharing with care. Number one, practice safe sharing and privacy settings. Di ba? So, you need to think before you click or post or share. So, think. From the word itself, di ba? Pag sinabi nating think, pag sinabi natin we need to learn how to set privacy settings. So kung gumagamit ka ng mga social media, you need to be aware na dapat nare-review nyo yung privacy safety settings ng mga social media account. That includes you and all your family members. Okay? So I have here a checklist na kung saan ito dapat yung tinitingnan natin. Okay? Actually, pwede ngang maging ano yun, one of the family rules di ba? When it comes to internet safety, ito yung pwede nyong iset as one of the family rules dun sa family ninyo na dapat everyone must comply with the privacy settings. Okay? So for example, if you are a Facebook user, you can actually set here, may checklist na ako, no? You can actually capture this or after this session, you can actually request for a PDF copy of this checklist. So number one, when it comes to Facebook, yung profile and account privacy mo should not be public. So you need to limit your profile to friends only. So only friends can actually view all your posts. Tama? Kasi ang sabi nga natin kanina, if you are sharing information and you cannot avoid sharing information, but at least at a minimum, di ba? You set it on friends, not so that public will not be able to view whatever you are posting online. Okay? Number two, you can actually review the about section, hide sensitive infos like school, birthdays, and address. Tama? Kasi nga, school, ayaw natin na malaman ng public or kung sino man, kung saan nag-aaral yung bata natin, yung mga anak natin. So if we want to be confident na, uy, hindi makikidnap yung anak ko dahil hindi ko naman na-share online. So first things first, huwag mo pa alam kung nasaan eskwelahan nag-aaral yung anak mo. Tama? Second, do not share their birthdays. Third, most especially, do not share your address online. Kasi the moment that you post your address online, the more you give exposure yung mga bata for any threats, di ba? So, fourth is actually use nickname or initial instead of full name if underage. So, yung mga anak nyo, encourage nyo na wag nila ilagay yung buong pangalan or even you, 'di ba? Kung kilala ka ng mga kaibigan mo, kasi kaibigan mo lang naman ang tinanggap mo, 'di ba? Nag-friends ka naman. Alam nila from the very start, eto yung username mo. You don't need to post the whole name sa social media. So that at least no one knows na yung mga hindi mo naman friends, alam nila na ikaw na yon, and that will actually limit you from being exposed outside. So in my case, katulad ko, I'm not using my personal name on social media. So I have a separate name. Okay, when I'm working with friends, I have a separate name for any business related naman, 'di ba? But I'm not using my personal name in social media. Turn off location sharing, 'di ba? You don't want, of course, na malaman kung nasan ka. Tama? Pag meron kang location sharing, alam nila ngayon kung nasa bahay ka o wala ka sa bahay. So you need to make sure that location sharing is disabled. You can actually post visibility and tagging. You need to make sure that yung audience mo for any posting is not public. Naka-friends lang siya or friends or friends. Or as much as possible, friends lang sana. Di ba? Turn on timeline review to approve tags before they appear. Tama? Para hindi lang basta, baka hindi ka basta, hindi sila basta-basta makapag-post ng mga dun sa, ano mo, sa timeline mo. For example, tinatago mo nga yung birthday mo, tapos someone greeted you and post it on your timeline. Tama? Eh, walang nagpinagkaiba. Malalaman pa rin ng public, malalaman pa rin ng makakabasa ng timeline mo yung birthday mo. And if they share more information na hindi mo na ina-approve kung ano lang yung pwedeng lumabas sa timeline mo at hindi, medyo delikado, di ba? Because someone may share personal information without you knowing. Okay? Turn on tag review as mentioned. Limit past post using past post tools, di ba? So, disable tagging by non-friends, black unknown or suspicious contacts. So, here are all the privacy safety setting checklists that you can actually use, okay, to ensure your privacy in Facebook, in YouTube, and TikTok. So you can capture this screen or you can actually have a copy of this if you want to have a PDF file of this one. Okay. So second is actually, okay, think before you click, post, or share. That's the second item. Di ba? So, dito meron kaming binigay dito na guidelines. Before you click on anything, before you post on anything, or before you need to share anything, okay, you need to check whether the one that you are sharing or posting will qualify for posting. Tama? Kasi ngayon, di ba, because of all the fake news na mga kumakalat, because of all insensitivity na mga comments na kumakalat, hindi na healthy eh. That's why sometimes nakakatamad tumingin on social media because nakakasira lang ng araw mo, especially o pag fake news siya or if you are seeing a lot of negative comments. Pero, di ba, mas maganda, your kids and you will not be part of that. Okay? So, think muna. Think before we post. Think before we comment. Think before we share. Okay? So number one, letter T. Is it true? Kung hindi totoo yan, huwag ka na makisali. Huwag ka na makisaw-saw sa fake news. So you need to have this ability to check the facts first, di ba? It is true. If it is not true, if it is fake news, if it is a clickbait, if it is a misinformation or chain messages, do not click, pause, or share because it is not true. Itong bagay na to is something that we need to educate everyone. Di ba? Nakakalungkot na makikita mo, no, the Filipino culture has changed a lot. Okay? Kahit fake, kahit hindi totoo, they will share. And hopefully, no, hindi tutuyang masira yung kultura ng Pilipino for being sensitive, di ba? Nawawala na yung pagiging sensitivity ng mga Pilipino right now just because of the social media, but just because of their political affinity, just because of they just want to comment, di ba? So, first things first, we need to make sure that is it true. Pag hindi po true, wag na ho tayong makisali. Wag na ho tayo mag-post, wag ho na tayo mag-share. Second, letter H, is it helpful? Di ba? Will it support, educate, or uplift someone? So if it will just drag someone, lalo na hindi pa totoo, tapos hindi pa makakapag-uplift ng isang tao, hindi pa makakapag-educate sa tao, di ba? Mas mapapasama pa yung taong kinokomentan mo, do not post it. So meaning, if this is no constructive at all, yung iko-comment mo, do not comment. In real life ba, gagawin mo yan? Di ba? That you will drag a person down. So if it is not helpful, di ba mas magaan sa loob that the one that you are actually sharing with your friends, with the people that you are meeting in person, you know that you will be able to help, di ba? So as much as possible, kung ano yung character natin when we are actually in person, dapat ganun din yung character natin when we are actually online. If it is true, okay. If it is helpful, okay. But if it is not true and at the same time hindi pa siya helpful, wag na lang mag-share, wag na lang mag-post. Is it inspiring? Tama? Baka naman negativity lang yan ini-spread mo. Baka body shaming lang naman yung inaan mo. Or you're just doing it for attention just to get abuse. Di ba? So if it will not encourage good feelings to anyone, di ba? Please do not post, do not share, do not click. Is it necessary? Di ba? Is it necessary na i-post pa ba to? Is it necessary ba na mag-comment ako? So, oversharing with no meaningful purposes, wag na lang din. Kaya nga minsan nakikita natin, di ba? Marami tayong kaibigan, my day, my day, my day. But most of the time, di ba? Wala namang sense yung pinopost na nila. So, if it is not necessary, so do not share. So, ano yung mga katulad ng mga not necessary? My day. Food, pipicturan yung food, di ba? Location, just for the sake na meron silang ma-post. So kung hindi naman necessary and it is not worth posting, do not post, do not share, do not click. Is it kind? Di ba? Rants, venting, cyberbullying, teasing, mocking, wag pong i-share. Tama? So, only at times that it qualifies dito some think before you click, THINK, true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind. That's the only time that I think mas may sense yung pag-post natin. So, if you will follow this, you will realize na you only post informations that are actually relevant. You are only posting na hindi ka nag-o-overposting, di ba? So, people will be encouraged to see your posts pag nakikita nila na relevant lang, na may sense lang yung mga pinopost mo. Instead of posting every day, my day, TikTok dance or whatsoever, di ba? So, think before you click. So, you can capture this screen and hopefully you can promote it to your kids also. At an early age, mas maganda, maturo na natin sa kanila. So that when they grow up, they are educated enough when it comes to social media behavior. Okay? So the second domain that we're going to discuss is actually alert. Don't fall for fake. Okay? So what do we mean by don't fall for fake? So this is a good example of an incident or what hackers and attackers can actually do kung hindi tayo maingat sa behavior natin on the internet. So let me share the video.
A phone and an internet connection can do social engineering. But I was curious, what can a hacker with serious coding skills do?
Well, DEF CON is the world's biggest hacking convention. It's hacking everything, hacking social, hacking hardware, hacking software, hacking various systems.
I asked Dan Tentler, a well-known security researcher, to turn all of his firepower on me.
I did get into quite a number of things that I found.
So what were the first things you did? How did you start hacking me?
I quickly found your Squarespace blog and had an idea. Basically what I did was created a bogus Squarespace site and sent an email to you, a fish asking you to go to this website, run this certificate installer.
And I did it, because I'm an idiot.
So once you ran that, it gave me access to your computer, and I created several fake pop-ups that looked like system pop-ups that would ask you for your credentials.
You didn't even have to have my passwords.
No, you gave them to me.
I gave them to you.
Yeah. So I stole your 1Password keychain.
And 1Password is where I store all my other passwords. So effectively by...
And your social security number and your Amex stuff and all your stock trading and bank information. I can send email to everyone in this room as you. I am you right now, if I wanted to be. If my evilness is working correctly, it should actually be taking pictures of your desktop and pictures through your webcam every 2 minutes. And I have been watching you for about 2 days now. In coffee shops, at your mom's house, on a plane. Here's you editing stuff. There's you like.
Oh my God, so this is literally
every 2 minutes.
through my webcam.
Yeah, through this guy.
How badly could you have messed up my life?
I could have made you homeless. I could have made you homeless and penniless.
How?
Like,
How would you make me homeless?
like I have control of your digital life in its entirety. I have all your credentials. I have all your access to all your financial information, all your work information, all your personal information. I can pay people with your bank account or your Amex account. I am you. I can fully impersonate. Like, the only thing I couldn't doctor would be like your fingerprints.
This is like as bad as it gets.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's bad.
So it turns out that Dan Tentler is very good at his job. I mean, he hacked the hell out of me. He got everything. Well, I mean, frankly, I want to take my computer and throw it into the deepest part of the ocean, and I want to become a hermit, and I want to never touch a piece of technology again, because holy shit, that was everything. That was the keys to my entire life, and he just pulled them out of his pocket. The phone internet.
Okay. Another one. Another video. Oh, wait.
So I invited a few of the world's best hackers to try to hack me and show me where my vulnerabilities are. And now I'm going to meet them in Las Vegas for DEF CON, the biggest hacker convention of the year.
They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and
Okay.
see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna spoof from your number, so it's gonna look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30
At
seconds,
gmail.com.
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right. Thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're going to have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think majority of us no have experienced phishing calls. Someone called us, let's say, coming from a credit card provider. Sometimes we are getting calls coming from the banks. We're also getting calls coming from marketing agencies that we actually won something, di ba? That we actually have some rewards. Sometimes we are actually getting calls from legal companies then na because of our failure to pay our bills, di ba? They are already forwarded to the legal department. All those informations, di ba, are actually considered as part of the phishing calls. So, what lessons do we actually learn from the two video? Number one, di ba? Okay, we need to be aware of all these kind of attacks, okay? Because the only way that we can actually mitigate or we can actually avoid to become victims of this different kind of attack if we are actually educated, di ba? If we don't know that these things are really possible, hindi natin siniseryoso masyado ang cybersecurity awareness. But remember, do sa first video, di ba? The hacker was able to take pictures of the target every 2 minutes. And imagine how this can destroy our life kung merong visibility ang hacker to all our activities. That includes our pictures, even on our personal moments, di ba? Nakakapag-take siya ng picture. Even yung mga transactions natin on our computers, kung nakikita nila yan, they have the visibility. Totally, they can actually change our identity and they can actually capture all our identities. So that's how dangerous yung mga cyber criminals right now. So that's why ganun na lang ka-eager yung Experts Academy to have a series of cybersecurity awareness. In the industry, walang problema because we are already doing this on a lot of school. We are already doing this for several government corporate agencies and private corporation. We even have cybersecurity awareness culture campaign, all those things. We are already doing that with corporation. But my biggest worry now is actually the most vulnerable people in our community. And these are the parents and their kids. So that's why if we can actually campaign and we can actually share whatever we will learn today with co-parents, with our kids, with our relatives, okay, so that they will be aware the danger of not being cybersecurity aware. Okay, so now let us teach this time or let us discuss this time ano ba pwede kong gawin so that I will avoid those kind of na hindi ako maging biktima. Tama? So number one, double check a site for credibility. So meaning nagsimula naman lahat do sa first video natin because the user or the victim actually click a link without validating the site na clinic-click niya. Tama? So, you need to be aware na when you are clicking a site or a URL, there are actually two parts of the link. One is actually what it says. Another part of the link is actually where it goes. What it says is those that are actually visible to us, like here, shop at the sandal store, whitehouse.gov, cookie recipe. So that is actually what it says, no? Okay. Pero it doesn't mean na what it says is equivalent to where it goes. Tama? So, kaya ang ginagawa niyo po, before you click on any URL, before you click on anything, you need to put your cursor on top of the URL so you will see where it's going. So, dito, shop at the sandal store, and the URL is also the sandal store. So, that means you can see here where it's going. Sa second example din natin, whitehouse.gov, when you put your cursor on top of the link, makikita nyo dito, whitehouse.gov. So there's a match between where it says and where it goes. But the third one is actually the dangerous URL na hindi tayo aware. Sometimes gusto natin makita yung grandma cookie recipe. We just click the link without checking where it's actually going. So dito, makikita nyo, when you put your cursor, it's going to hack install virus. And you know, yung virus na yun is actually the same virus or it's the same malware that is actually installed on the computer dun sa first video natin. And the moment that those malwares are already installed on our computer, they will already have visibility on all our activities. Ano mali mo? Because you just click the link and that actually triggers the installation of that malware on your computer. And after that, the hackers will already have visibility on all your activities. And if you are that kind of person that you are not turning off your cameras of your mobile phone or not turning off the cameras of your computer, they could even have take pictures of yours without you knowing. Ganun lang po kasimple. Because there's just one person that is actually not cybersecurity aware. Basta click lang ng click without checking where the URL is going, the malware automatically installs on the computer. So make it a habit na before you actually click on anything, especially if you are not familiar to the site, that is the first time that you are actually visiting the site, check muna bago mag-click ng link. Tama? So, also, try to avoid the links na merong numbers. So, usually, meron tayong di ba? Halimbawa, you want to go to Facebook. We type facebook.com. Tama? Ang tawag natin doon, domain. Then, Sa computer, the way nag-uusap po yung mga computer natin is actually via IP address. Just like in this example, this is an IP version 4 address. That is actually how our computers in the internet communicates through an IP address. So, ang ginagawa ko, meron ho tayo yung tinatawag na DNS that actually converts yung facebook.com to its equivalent IP address. Okay? Kaya ho, kahit hindi ho natin alam yung IP address ni facebook.com, by just typing facebook.com, meron na bahala na ho si DNS to convert facebook.com to its equivalent IP address. So, kung hindi po natin, kung ang nakikita ko ninyo on your web browser is an IP address at hindi po domain, so hindi ho natin malalaman ano identity nitong particular IP na to kasi hindi ho naka-reflected on the web browser. Do not click the URL or do not proceed. So hindi ho safe na mag-access kayo on the internet using an IP address only. Okay? It's also not safe to click on URL na nakalagay yahoo23.com. I'll ask you personally, kung ikaw yung IT ni Yahoo, maglalagay ka pa ba ng number on top of yahoo.com or it's just purely yahoo.com, facebook.com, expertsacademy.com? Tama? So we don't need to put number. So therefore, most of the time, pag ang mga URL meron pa kong number na naka-attach, okay, wag ho basta i-click. Red flag po yan. Just don't click the link kasi hindi ho natin alam baka ho invalid site to or dangerous site siya. Okay? White House. Maglalagay pa ba ng let number 6 si White House or 62 si White House when creating a URL? Of course not. So if you are seeing numbers on the URL, i-red flag po natin yan. Don't click the link. Okay? Tip number 2, only use secure websites. So, paano ko malalaman? Pag sinabi natin secure website, you know ano ibig sabihin nun? Kasi di ba nagkikita-kita lang tayo sa internet? So, that means kung halimbawa, tinype mo yung credit card mo, okay, sa bahay mo, padadala yan sa internet. And yung credit card information mo can be intercepted on the internet. Tama? So that's why, to ensure that your uh, transactions on the internet are protected, meron ho tayong tinatawag na secure website. So that means you should only transact dun sa mga website that are actually considered secured. So paano ko malalaman if the website is actually secured? If you see HTTPS at meron hong lock sign. So, pag naka-HTTPS po yan na may lock sign, that means this particular website is secured. Paano siya naging secured? Okay, ibig sabihin to, all data that passes through this website are actually encrypted. Hindi ho naka-clear text. So meaning, if you type your name dun sa credit card information, pag pinadala ho yan sa internet, naka-encrypt po yan. Naka-hash value po yan. Hindi ho yan yung pangalan ang makikita on the internet. So people cannot easily intercept those information kasi naka-encrypt siya, naka-secured, hindi ho siya in clear text. So that's why kaya ang website na pinagtatransactan nyo is HTTPS na merong padlock sign. That means it's secured to transact on this website. And what are we trying to avoid? Yung HTTP lang po. Pag HTTP, that means never ever share personal information on this website because all transactions is not secured. Okay? So, tandaan po, pag HTTP, hindi ho kayo dapat magtra-transact. HTTPS lang kayo magtra-transact because only HTTPS are actually secured. Okay? Bakit ho siya secured? Kasi ho, naka-encrypt ho yung mga data na pinadadala natin. Okay? So, if you just see this one, wala ho yung HTTPS, wala rin hong lock sign, what does that mean? Do not transact on this website because this is just using HTTP. So, pag HTTPS ho, may makikita kayong HTTPS at meron hong lock sign, ibig sabihin, this is a secured website. So, you can actually do personal transaction, you can share personal information because this transaction is secured. Ibig sabihin, nagko-communicate lang is your computer and the website that you are actually accessing, and all data that you shared on this website are actually encrypted. Okay? Kaya ho nananakaw yung ibang personal information. Yung iba sasabihin, nawalan ako ng pera sa bangko. Yes! Kasi, baka nag-transact ka sa HTTP. Baka nag-transact ka sa maling website. Kasi majority of the banks, especially those companies na merong personal transaction, they are actually required to have HTTPS. Meron ho tayo tinatawag na PCI DSS compliance that for financial transaction, dapat yung mga website na yun are required to run and operate using HTTPS. So kung HTTP yan, malaki ho yung possibility that that website has irregularities. Hindi ho yung bangko nagkamali dyan. It's us. Because we are not cybersecurity aware na yung website pala na pinagtatransaktan mo is not the valid website where you should be, na hindi ka dapat pala doon nagtatransact. Tama? Kaya kahit ireklamo nyo ho yan sa bangko, pag mali ho yung site na nabibisit nyo at nagtatransact kayo to an illegitimate website, wala ho silang magagawa dyan. It's our fault. Kaya ho importante that we are cybersecurity aware. Okay? So, pag nakita ho nyo, HTTPS, but naka-red at saka naka-dash line po, naka-block. So, ibig sabihin, although there's an attempt na maging secured yung transaction, pero hindi ho naging successful yung transactions, hindi ho naging successful yung encryption niya and all the mechanism to make it secured. So, pag ganito ho, untrusted website pa rin to. Don't transact. So, the only time that you will transact pag nakakita ko kayo ng lock sign with HTTPS on the transactions. Okay? Now, so don't fall for scams. If the email or site offers something that sounds too good to be true, like a chance to make a lot of money, it's almost always too good to be true, don't fall for the fake messages. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan marunong rin tayo mag-qualify, di ba? Ah, kung scam ba to or legitimate. So, paano po natin kadalasan nalalaman whether yung emails natin are actually as a scam or legitimate one? We need to know and we need to know how to identify red flags. So, number one po, pag ang email ho, merong emotions that are actually attached to the email, red flag po yan. Ano po yung mga klase ng mga emails na usually they put an emotion? Kasi kaya nilalagyan ng emotion yan ng mga hacker and attacker or ng mga scammer para ma-trigger ka mag-click ng link, para ma-trigger ka mag-share ng information, para ma-trigger ka na buksan mo yung attachment, para mag-trigger ka to click the link para ma-installan ka nila ng malwares. Tama? So, anong ginagawa nila? What are the regular emotion or usual emotions that they are actually trying to convene on the email? Number one is greed. Di ba? Nanalo kayo ng kotse. Nanalo kayo ng pag-click mo tong link na to, okay, mananalo ka ng certain rewards. So, there is an emotion of greed. Sometimes, they put emotion of urgency. Ang sasabihin nila sa inyo, na parang the top 10 you are actually one of the top one of the based on the draws that we actually conducted, you are actually one of our top 10 VIP customers, so you need to click the link within 1 hour to enjoy the rewards, di ba? So there is an emotion of urgency. Kailangan i-click nyo. Kailangan i-share nyo kagad yung personal information. Dapat ngayon na. Dapat within 1 hour. So naglalagay sila ng urgency para ikaw mapilitan kang i-click na yung link. Para ikaw mapilitan ka lang mag-share ng information. Sometimes they also attach an emotion of fear. Hindi ka nagbabayad ng credit card. So, mag-i-issue na kami ng subpoena if you will not give this information or if you will not click the link para makita mo yung ano namin, subpoena namin. Naglalagay sila ng emotion of fear. Ikaw naman, guilty ka na hindi ka pa nakapagbayad ng bills mo or ng credit card mo, you have then the tendency to click the link. Di ba? There's an emotion of curiosity. Okay? So, click mo to para ma-view mo to. Marami yan, di ba, sa mga news? Ibibitin nila yung news. Tapos, you need to click the link, di ba, bago mo mabasa. So, there's also an emotion of curiosity. So, just like in this example, makita mo, act now to claim your refund. So, it offers you money. So, kung nakita mo na merong emotion of greed, uy, teka lang, red flag muna to. Kasi may emotion of greed eh. Tama? So, later, i-check mo pa yung iba pang parameters. Pero red flag na to. Kasi merong emotion of greed eh. Rushing a response. Anong emotion to? Emotion of urgency. You must reply within 3 days. Uy, teka lang. Sabi ni Sir Mark, sabi ni Sir Aquino, pag may emotion of urgency, red flag. So, i-mark na natin tong red flag. Tapos tingnan natin mamaya yung ibang pang parts ng email. Pero for now, red flag na siya. Kasi there's an emotion of urgency. Then, aside from those emotions that I have mentioned, yung urgency, fear, greed, at saka curiosity, meron pang other aspect of the email that you also need to check. Okay? Look at the email signature, look at the sender address, or you can actually check the tone of the email. For example, bangko po ito. Pero, look at the sender. Gmail.com. Public email. Tama? Do you really think a reputational or highly yung reputation ng organization, bangko siya, mataas yung reputation ng organization, tas gagamit lang po ng public email? Magtitipid po ng 1,500 to 3,000 pesos by not just using Gmail account to transact with their customers. Kaya nga kadalasan ho, when I'm doing consultancy for various government corporations, pag nakita ko kung ang email na ginagamit nila is public emails, my first recommendation is change your email. Number one, it damages your reputation. Number two, pwede kung hindi kayo i-take seriously ng mga ibang kliyente nyo kasi kita nila Gmail account. Safe ba ako makipag-transact sa'yo? Gmail yung ginagamit mo. Tama? Pangatlo, di ba? Paano ka, pangatlong reason, kung hindi ka pa gumagamit ng Gmail mo, di ba? Parang mawawala yung trust ng mga tao sa iyo. Kasi, 'di ba? Kaya nga if you are aware, 'di ba, the government is doing a lot of digital transformation in the different government agencies. Pero sabi ko nga when I'm doing seminars with the government agencies, sinasabi ko nga kadalasan is part of the digital transformation is actually creating a culture of data protection. Hindi na dapat checklist yung data protection kasi users will not be willing to share their personal information if they know na hindi safe yung personal information nila. Why will I give additional information dito sa email na to? Why will I transact with this bank? Nakita ko public email yung ginagamit. Anyone can actually create this name. Tilburybank account at gmail.com. Ano ba naman maglagay akong tilburybank at gmail.com? And now, I can start pretending that I am coming from the bank. Because everyone can actually create their own public email account. So why will I dare to transact with this organization? Nagtipid ng 2,000, nagtipid ng 4,000 pesos. So that's why they cannot communicate with their customers using their own domain. Diba? So, red flag. So, may emotions na, public email pa yung ginamit, 'di ba? Willing ka bang mag-transact with that company? Red flag, dalawang red flag na, hindi na ako magta-transact. Kasi nakakuha pa ako ng additional proof na hindi safe to transact on this email or even response to this email. Tama? Next, James Connor, tapos nagpakilala siya, Customer Service Manager from Tilbury Bank, 800-555-1234. Tingnan niyo yung from, Tilbury Bank. So most likely, hindi na Gmail yan kasi lumabas na yung parang domain niya. Okay, now, ang question is it safe to transact with this customer or with this email? Tingin ko, okay, hindi public email. They know my name. Yung URL niya, walang numbers, HTTPS. Tapos the person that actually transacting, nilagay niya yung pangalan niya, nilagay niya yung position niya, nilagay niya yung kumpanya niya, nilagay niya rin yung numbers where he can be contacted. Di ba? Would you trust this email? Of course. Lahat na nakita natin, walang red flag. Pero, what if ang nilagay dyan, accounting department? Okay? Yun lang, nakalagay, accounting department. And some organization are actually doing that. 'Di ba? Na hindi nila alam, meron palang mga implications for not sharing information. Number one, as a consultant, I discourage organization na gumagamit multiple users using the same email account. Accounting department, lahat silang nasa accounting department can use that email. It's a security violation when it comes to identity access management. Paano ngayon kung nagkaroon ng mga illegalities yan? Who transact it? Who made the transactions? So there's no way for us to validate that. Because everyone that knows that account and the password can actually transact using that email and username and password. Tama? So never allow your organizations na meron group emails. And never transact with the customers na ang ilalagay nyo ko accounting department, finance department, engineering faculty, di ba? Or yung minsan nga school pa yung buong school pa yung nilalagay lang eh, di ba? So if you want the recipient to take your email seriously, please share your information. Please share yung information of the person who are actually sending this email so that they have the way to validate yung authenticity of the email. So ito, walang takot yung tao na nag-share nitong personal information na to. Because he even shared the number where he can actually be contacted. Tama? Okay. When you have an email at may red flags, ito naman yung mga dapat yung i-avoid. May red flag na tayong nakita, di ba? So avoid clicking the attachment, avoid sharing personal information, avoid clicking links. Pag nakita natin na may mga red flags na, never do or never click any of these. The attachment or the URL provided or the links provided. Okay? So, this is a dangerous link. So, another red flag pag nakakita kayo ng number dun sa URL. Number 4, remember that website or ad can tell if there's anything wrong with your device. Tama? There are scams that may try to trick you into downloading malwares or unwanted software by telling you that there's something wrong with your device. May naka-experience na ba sa inyo na lumabas na lang bigla? 1,000 viruses detected. Click here to remove the viruses. Tayo naman, natakot, clinic na lang ba? Clinic yung link. Di ba? So those are example na hindi natin dapat pinapansin. Nine-neglect natin yon, close lang po natin yon. Because the moment that you click that particular, hindi natin alam, baka malwares na yan that are actually being installed on your computer already. Okay? Now, so just like what I have mentioned, okay? Just like what I have mentioned a while ago, teka lang. So, we should not click those softwares na lumalabas na lang basta. So, ano-ano to? Number one, kung makikita nyo dito, there is a possibility na yung hacker, ang gagawin niya is to create an exact website of the bank. Pwede siya mag-create ng exact website nung targeted na kumpanya niya. Tama? So, para pag kayo, okay, nakita niyo yung website, kala niyo you are already transacting on the right website. Kasi meron siyang exact view, okay, noong current website nung kumpanya na yon. So, that's why we also need to be careful doon sa and checking whether we are really transacting on the right website. Okay, tingnan niyo maigi yung URL kung tama ba. Okay, what else? Huwag basta click ng here, download now, subscribe. It looks like it's not harmful kasi click here lang naman yan. Pero ano sabi ko kanina? Put your cursor on top of the link that you are clicking. Kasi kala mo, click here lang, download now, subscribe lang siya, pero okay, it leads you to another URL. So even yung mga ganitong klaseng phrases can also be used para ma-installan ka ng virus or ng mga malwares. So ito, Amazon.com. It doesn't look like dangerous, di ba? Amazon.com lang pala eh. Pero look at the spelling carefully. It's not AM. It's ARN. So the hacker is actually trying to deceive us. Instead of M, they put R and N to make it appear as letter M. So at one glance, kala natin Amazon.com. Pero actually, it's rnason.com. So even yung ganitong klaseng mga mga ganitong klaseng mga attempt gagawin talaga ng mga hackers and attackers. Okay? So that's why for letter M, be careful. You need to check pag meron kang ina-access na URL na merong letter M, be careful. You need to validate and check. Because sometimes they can just use R and N to launch an attack. Pop-ups. May naka-encounter ba sa inyo na nagtatransact kayo, biglang may pop-ups? Generally, pop-ups are fake websites. Okay? Or gawa lang ito ng mga hacker and attacker. Ano ang gagawin nyo dito? Close. Basta naglabas ang pop-up, close. Ang tawag natin dito is in-session phishing. Any information that you type on the pop-ups, okay, hindi yan napupunta doon sa website that you are visiting. It may be forwarded to someone else who created the pop-ups. So in general, never entertain pop-ups. Close it. Okay? Scam can happen to anyone. Scam can happen to the parent, it can happen to the teachers, and it can happen to the kids. Tama? So, Experts Academy is sharing some digital strategy. So, ito na-discuss na natin kanina, di ba? Ano to ulit? Practice safe sharing, maglagay ng mga privacy settings sa social media. Another digital safety strategy that we teach you a while ago, think, is it true? Is it, di ba? So, may abbreviation tayo dyan. Then, set clear online boundaries and family rules. So, anong dapat natin gawin? Okay? So, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga parental controls uh, that can actually limit kung ano yung pwedeng gawin lang ng mga bata online. So later we will discuss. Then we have gradual reduction of online time. Ano kung ibig sabihin ng gradual reduction of online time? Di ba sabi ko nga kanina, The less time you spend online, the lesser the possibility that you will be exposed dun sa mga threats online. So, unti-unti, di ba, dapat tinuturuan din natin yung mga bata na magkaroon ng other activities outside internet. So, ano yung mga pwedeng gawin natin? Number one, pwede tayong maglagay ng mga family rules. No devices during meals. Kaya niyo ba mga parents na kumain ng walang cellphone? So kung hindi niyo kaya, how can you teach your kids not to use cell phones during meals? So it should start with you. So pwede kayo maglagay ng tech-free zones. Pwedeng no devices during meals, unplug an hour before bedtime, a dedicated unplugged corner at home. So, kumbaga, pwede kayong maglagay ng mga ganitong klaseng mga family rules. And I think mas maganda if you can start it earlier, di ba? Habang lumalaki yung mga bata. So at least they are already familiar with, you're not stopping them, di ba? You're just freeing some of the time, 'di ba? Na binabawasan natin. Kasi ang tendency, kung hindi kayo maglalagay ng mga family rules and wala kayong effort to gradually reduce yung time nila online, kahit kumakain po yan, nag-i-internet pa rin. Kahit kumakain, and they will not have time to share, to communicate with us parents. Kasi kahit kumakain, nag-i-internet sila. Pero it should start with us. Dapat tayo rin, we should discipline ourselves na pagkaharap natin yung mga bata, kumakain tayo sabay-sabay, huwag rin kayo mag-cellphone. Di ba? Para meron kayong opportunity to communicate with your kids. Okay? You can also unplug an hour before bedtime. Di ba? So, ang purpose lang is to reduce yung online nila. You can actually spend time with your kids by reading a book, or pwede kayong magkaroon ng board game time, di ba? Pwede kayong magkaroon ng creating crafts, or pwede kayo that you can actually cook together. Even small efforts na hindi lang sila makapag-internet, di ba? Hanap tayo ng way na this will give you a lot of advantage. You will have time to spend more time with your kids. You will have opportunity to learn more about them so that you can actually create open communication with your kids, di ba? At the same time, based on our topic, yung spend that they spend that they the time that they spent with you doing these activities is equivalent to the reduction of time on the internet. The more you introduce more activities with your kids, the more you spend time with your kids, it's equivalent to lesser exposure online. Ganun ho natin siya tingnan. Pag hindi kayo nag-spend ng time with your kids, they will just spend it on the internet. Okay? So the more time you spend with your kids, the more it will reduce their time on the internet. So third domain is actually be internet strong. We should learn how to secure our secrets, starting with configuring the right password. So, dati, 8 characters is already enough to secure your password. But with the latest cybersecurity guidelines based on the CIS control, cybersecurity framework, 8 character password is no longer recommended. Why? Paano po ba yung password scheme na yan? So, di ba naglalagay tayo ng password natin? So, ang ginagawa ho niyan, nangyayari ho dyan, when you put the password, meron ho yung equivalent na hash value. So, ang ginagawa ko ng mga hackers is actually trying to complete their databases. Itong combination ng 8 password na to, ito yung hash value niya. Over time, napupuno ho nila yan. Over time, nadadagdagan yung databases nila. So, darating yung time na yung 8-character password, okay, dati safe po yan eh. Pero not anymore. Because there was already a study that there is already, yung mga hackers already had a complete database of the 8-character password. So, meaning po, okay, ibig sabihin po niyan, pag kayo po yung target ng hacker and attacker, they will just run the script and in a few minutes or in a few minutes they can already decode your password. So that's why it is already encouraged that okay users must use how many characters? Any guess po? How many characters kaya nire-recommend na? Any guess? So the latest recommendation po is a 14-character password. And that password must be combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So later I'll share more guidelines about strong password now. Okay, but let's move to tip number 2. Switch it up. How many of you have not changed your password for the past 1 year? How many of you uses the same password for your social media account, uses the same password for your email address, and uses the same password for your in your offices? And do you think it's safe that you are using the same password? May ma-hack pong isa dyan, they can actually hack the rest of your password, the rest of your access. So that's why it's not safe that you are actually using the same password across all those domains. So you must have a separate password for your social media account, especially a different password for your email. Kasi to set up those social media and apps, di ba? Yung email mo ginamit. So that is actually the most critical one. Your email, it should not be the same as your social media because pag pareho lang yan, the moment they have access to your social media, they can actually steal your account already. If they also have this, if you are also using the same password for your email. So ideally, different password for different types of account. And you need to be creative when it comes to your password. Okay? So, ano yung pwede ko pong ma-share na tip when creating a password? Sir, 14 character, ang hirap naman po niyan. Di ba? So, number one way of actually creating a password, do not use a word. You use a sentence. Tama? Kasi sanay ho tayo, maglalagay lang tayo ng word eh. Let's say, the one I saw, let's say, machine, right? So, tapos maglalagay lang tayo ng characters, maglalagay lang tayo ng symbols. We will just make some characters capitals, small letters. And then minsan pa ko, yung symbols na ginagamit nyo, ano kung ginagawa nyo to make your password stronger? You replace A with an at sign, thinking that if you replace letter A with an at sign, ginawa kong symbol, that makes your password stronger. Hindi po. Why? Kung alam mo na how to use alternative characters for those letters, alam din ho yan ng hacker and attacker. And that will not make your stronger password by using those predictable characters. If you know how to change that letter A is for at sign, the hacker also knows that letter A is for at sign. You can use at sign for letter A. If you're using number 5 for letter S, the hacker also knows that. So using predictable character will actually not change and make your password stronger. So also try to avoid predictable characters because it will not make any difference. Tama? So one way is actually to create a sentence. Then you make capital letter and put a random symbol inside. Or, let's say, itong word po na creative, tama? So, ang gawin niyo ho, in between the characters, you insert a symbol or you insert a number. Nasusundan po? To make it longer. So, let's say, you want C, tapos you can actually create dollar sign, R, then you create another sign. So, if you want to use a word, insert the characters and the symbols in between the characters para makumpleto mo lang yung 14 characters. And hindi mo rin makakalimutan. So you can create those kind of techniques. So that's why dito nga is actually we said we need to be creative with our password. Of course, we don't want to create a password that is so difficult that we cannot easily remember. So dapat makapag-create ka ng password that you can still remember na kahit na mahaba yung password mo, but you still have the ability to remember the password. So that's why we need to be creative. So one is you can actually make use of sentence, or you can actually use a word and insert characters in symbols in between the characters. Okay? Avoid getting personal. Okay? So do not use your any personal information as your password. How many of us are using our birthdays as our password or PIN account on our ATMs? Okay? Kaya kayo nakaka-hack eh. Kasi 60% of the users are actually using personal information as their PIN and password. And the hackers knows that. That's why one thing that we need to avoid is actually making use of personal information as your name and as your password or PIN number. And the sad part about this is, yung mga information na po yan, some of us are sharing it on the internet. Some of us are even sharing it on social media. So alam ng hacker, if you are the target of the hacker, alam ng hacker lahat ng birthday ng pamilya mo. Kasi you greeted all your family members online. And they have that information. Alam din ng family member yung mga pangalan ng loved ones mo, including your pet. Kasi pinopost mo yung picture ng pet mo online and then binabanggit mo rin yung pangalan ng pet mo. So if you are the target of the hacker and you are using your personal information as your password, they can easily decode it. Okay? So if you are the type of person that is sharing a lot of information on social media, at least at a minimum, di ba? Do not use personal information as your password. Okay? Or else, doble-doble pa yung danger mo. Okay? Marami ka na nga sinare sa information online, mahahack pa pati username and password mo kasi you already shared it on the internet. Don't hesitate to change your password. You need to change your password regularly. Why? 'Di ba? Look at your phone right now. Ilang apps na po yung na-install nyo? Ilang games na po yung na-install nyo? Tinatyaga nyo po ba na maglagay kayo ng username and password for every apps and games na dina-download nyo? Or ginagawa nyo, log in using your email account. Di ba? Most of us, log in using your email account. Kung gaano karami yung applications na naka-install na on your phone, that is the number of companies na binigyan nyo na ng username and password ng email nyo. And do you think it's still safe if you don't change your password regularly? That's why you need to change your password regularly. Okay? So, for Be Internet Strong, you need to change your password regularly. So, do not use password that can be found on dictionary. You need to use password that is 14 characters. Do not share personal information. Do not use personal information as your password. Do not write your password down. Do not use predictable characters like A for at sign for letter A. You should change your password regularly and you should not reuse your password. Tingnan niyo po, how will how will a correct password uh, protect you from internet, from different attacks? If you use 12345 as your password, in a matter of seconds and minutes, the hacker can decode your password. If you put your name and a number, okay, It will only take 2.29 minutes to 1.5 days, 59 days to decode your password. If you use a password that can be found on the dictionary and less than 8 characters or 14 characters, it will only take seconds to hours to decode your password. If you use a predictable character, like in this case, that will not make your password stronger, it will only take hours and minutes to decode your password. But if you use if you use a password that is really strong, 14 characters, combination of characters and symbols, okay, this will take trillions of centuries before they can even decode the password. Tama? So, this password alone will give you a lot of protection already on the internet. So, just configure the right password, follow the guidelines that I have shared a while ago, and it will actually protect you and your family, your kids online. Okay? So, ano pa po? 'Di ba? Username and password is actually something that you know. Pero 'di ba, delikado pa rin eh. Baka kasi may makakita ng username password ko, 'di ba? So that's why yung iba ko na kumpanya naglalagay ho ng two-factor authentication. Meron na ho bang naka-experience na nag-online transaction kayo after filling out your username and password, may nag-text na merong hihingi pang OTP pin number. And you need to encode the OTP pin before the transactions will proceed. GCash, ganun din po, di ba? Tapos sa banko din, when you do online transaction, meron pang another level of authentication. So, ang tawag ho natin doon is two-factor authentication. Ibig sabihin, there are two layers of authentication. The first layer of authentication is wherein you put your username and password. This is something that you know. Tama? So, ang ginawa ho nila dahil critical ang financial transaction, naglagay pa sila ng second layer. Teka lang, siguraduhin natin na yung nagtatransact is the real owner. So, ang ginawa nila, pumasok pa sila, something that you have. 'Di ba? Something that you have, you need to have the cellphone para mailagay mo yung OTP PIN number. So this will give us additional protection. Tama? Kaya yung mga bangko, kadalasan ginagawa nila, mag-OTP tayo para masigurado namin. Baka naman may nanakaw lang yung username and password niya. So, tawag natin dito two-factor authentication because there are two layers of authentication. Okay? However, for more critical transactions, they added not just two. They added multiple layer of authentication. Ang tawag natin dito, multi-factor authentication. So, more than two, multi-factor. Something that you know, something that you have, and something that you are. Something that you are, ibig sabihin, ikaw na mismo to. Tama? And this information cannot be copied from you. This information is something that is unique to you. Tama? So therefore, you are so safe if you have multi-factor authentication. So if the third layer of authentication is something that will totally protect you because this is something that is unique to you, and now why are you sharing it on TikTok? Why are you taking these apps just to know
How old are you according to your thumbprint? All right,
this
let's go.
person share
Thumbprint
her
is going on.
fingerprint on these apps
Oh, I like
just
this
to
one,
feel that
36. The last one I did
contented
said
that
I was
she's just
87, so
36
I
years old?
believe this one, not that one.
Can you imagine? Just because you just want to use the app and just you want to know the age, and you believe that sharing your fingerprint will actually determine your age. But have you considered yung pwedeng maging negative side of this? Your fingerprint is now shared on these apps, and you don't even know where they will gonna use it. So stop using TikTok, especially those applications that shares your sensitive details. And that is your biometrics. Imagine these apps. Palm reader apps. Okay. And what about this apps? Just to check whether you're compatible ng loved ones mo, you use the app, share your fingerprints, meron kayong account na kayong mag-asawa ang dapat pumirma. Di ba? Kasi share nyo na pareho fingerprints. Retina pattern.
How old are you according to
Low
your
from CES 2014.
Di ba? So please explain it to the kids, especially to the loved ones that never share in any apps your biometrics. Even facial features should be avoided to even yung facial recognitions, yung napapalitan yung napapabata tayo, napapatanda tayo, yung mga apps na ganun, do not use those apps. You're already sharing your personal features, your personal yung facial features mo. And they may be using it in some other things na you are not aware pa at this point in time. Pero you may be surprised that in the future, it may be taken against you. Baka naman nakakommit ka na pala ng crime, di ba? Meron na pala sa inilatag na fingerprint mo yung ginamit. Di ba? So that's why it's not safe to use any biometrics online. Okay? Fourth domain is we need to be kind on the internet. So follow the golden rule. Whatever how you treat people on personal life, you should also be treating the people at the same time the same way on the internet. Be an upstander. So kung meron tayong nakikita na merong nabubuli or someone is actually spreading negativity, be an upstander, di ba? Report it. Do see simple actions to turn negative interaction into positive ones by offering kindness on the internet. Make good decisions when choosing what to say and how to deliver it. So, kanina na-discuss na natin what should be shared online. So, we must possess the same behavior in real life and then on how we want ourselves to be projected online as well. Okay? So, what is the guidelines? Una po, teach and rehearse emotionally safe responses. Bakit nabubuli yung ibang bata? What do you think is the reason bakit nabubuli sila? Because they don't know how to respond in bullying. So, we need to teach our kids as early as their early age on how to respond pag nabubuli sila. So, pinapractice ho dapat yung mga different scenarios. For example po, so sabi you're wearing baby shoes. Some kids will just cry. Ano po dapat tinuturo natin? They teach them kindness by giving positive response. Oh, these are my favorite shoes. Instead of crying, do not give the bully the satisfaction na you will react dun sa bullying nila. Kaya the more that they are actually, the more na nagbubully sila. Because they are getting the response na gusto nila. Ano yung response na gusto nila? Yung magalit ka at umiyak ka. Tama? But if you teach your kids how to respond on bullying, okay, na practice, kung dumating sila sa point na merong ganitong scenario, they know how to respond. You're not fast. Hindi ka pwedeng sumali. Bagal ka. It's okay. I still like to play. Tama? That's my seat. You can't sit here. That's my seat. That's okay. I'll find another seat. Diba? So, Ang importante dito, they know how to respond in different scenarios. Okay? So basically, standing up with kindness. Okay? A friend asks you to lie for them. I don't feel right about lying. I want to be honest. Diba? So different level ng kids. So this is ideal for 7 to 9. Identifying mean or unsafe behavior. Then you can also, your lunch is gross. It's not okay to make fun of what I eat. Diba? No one wants you on our team. That's okay. I'll still cheer on you. Okay? You trip in front of everyone during PE. So, oops, that was clumsy, but I'm okay. Okay? Some will just cry pag nakita nagtawanan and everything. So, we need to teach the kids on how to respond for bullies. Okay? Empowering children with tools and strategies to respond to harm. Okay? So, teach them how to block, how to mute, and how to report. So, different apps have all these features. So if they think that this particular group of people are bullied, you teach them how to block, how to mute, how to report. Di ba kahit naman tayo matatanda, sometimes pag nakikita natin that some of the posts na nakikita natin on our timeline are full of negativity, ano ginagawa natin? We mute it, di ba? Okay? Or sometimes kung may natatanggap tayong messages na hindi na unfriendly yung mga messages from a stranger, you block it or even report it. So teach them how to respond for those kind of things on the internet. So when in doubt, talk it out. That's why importante po that we have communication with our kids para alam mo natin how they actually what they are actually facing on the internet or so that they can actually free to communicate. So found something negative, say something, di ba? Talk it out, report and block inappropriate content as mentioned. So if you think kung merong nakikita nilang merong hindi ginagawa maganda or in a form of cyberbullying, get proof. Don't be afraid kasi meron naman tayong pwedeng pagsumbungan nito. So, teach the kids at an early stage, okay? Uh, so, merong mga books available on cybersecurity that they can actually look on, that you can actually check on, so that they can already be exposed on the different threats online. Okay? Then, when it comes to legal protection, so Philippines have legal protections naman against cyberbullying. So these are RA 10627, RA 10175. So do not be afraid for cyberbullying. You just need to know and report it on our may mga government agencies tayo that are actually responsible on this one. Okay? So these are the anti-bullying policy. You can get a copy of this. This is the overview, the scope, and how to report cyberbullying. The informations are actually here. You can actually check in case that someone that are actually cyberbullied, but you need to capture proofs, no? So I think that this is the end of my presentation. I hope you learn a lot from our seminar. So we are actually continuously doing this seminar. So I think we're doing this at least twice in a month. Okay. So our next seminar, I think, will be next week. Okay. This is ICT in education. So these are for educators naman. Now that we are actually moving to the age of digital transformation, even sector is also moving to digitalization, trying to incorporate ICT inside the classroom. So next meeting, if there are educators here, you are free to attend our ICT in education seminar. This actually discusses the importance and the methodologies or some other things about ICT in education, incorporating ICT inside the classroom, and uh, Okay? And there is actually, by the way, there is also an actual international certification for teachers that actually certifies instructors that this set of instructors are actually capable to incorporate ICT inside the classroom. So please feel free to contact us, Experts Academy. So you can email us at info@expertsfrontacademy.com, or you can message us at or call us at 0919-991-4530. So we actually provide corporate trainings. We also provide cybersecurity awareness for the whole education, for the whole organization. We also provide mga different measurements, okay, on how to capture the cybersecurity capability build program of the organization or the cybersecurity culture of the organization. So basically, our expertise is actually on consultancy when it comes to cybersecurity, as well as capability build program of the organization. But we will continue doing this, okay? So next meeting, we will ulitin po namin yung navigating cybersecurity for parents, and we will not stop. Hanggat meron pa kung parents that are actually not cybersecurity aware, we will continue doing this advocacy as long hanggat wala pa kung hindi ho lahat ng teachers natin can spread cybersecurity awareness to their student. Hanggat hindi ho gumagaling ang mga Pilipino pagdating sa cybersecurity awareness, Experts Academy is with you and will continuously doing this because this is part of our advocacy and this is our one way that we can actually help the country. With that, maraming maraming salamat po and hope to see all of you in our succeeding seminars. Okay, so continue visiting us on our Facebook page para ma-update po kayo for our seminars. My team will also be sharing po yung links for the post survey. So kindly fill out the post survey po. Okay, please ensure na mailagay niyo po yung tamang pangalan niyo because this post survey is a prerequisite po para pag-issue namin ng e-certificate. You will be receiving e-certificate within 48 hours. So kung ano po yung nakalagay na pangalan on your post survey, that will be the one that will be issued on your e-certificate as well. So, and we also need your feedback on how we can further improve our discussions and our seminars. And hope you can actually fill out the surveys po. Okay? So, any questions po before we dismiss our webinar? Meron po bang questions? Thank you po, Ma'am Catherine, okay, for appreciating our seminar po. Maraming salamat po.